one, a break from Memphis. Leonard around Biyombo in the corner to Harden for three in the tie. Ball knocked out of bounds.
Since the Los Angeles Clippers added James Harden, Kawhi Leonard has had the longest losing streak of his entire career, including high school, college, and his legendary NBA career. In any case, the forward has surprisingly become vocal about his losing streak as he gets brutally honest and blames James Harden. 6-game losing streak. After acquiring James Harden in a trade that saw the Los Angeles Clippers mortgage their future assets, the Clippers went on a 6-game losing streak. For a team with 4 future Hall of Famers, this is not a good look. The first loss of the losing streak was an overtime loss to the Lakers where Kawhi Leonard left everything on the court, scoring 38 points on 53.6% shooting while dishing out 5 assists and grabbing 6 rebounds. Kawhi led the squad in points and rebounds in the second loss against the New York Knicks on a lineup that included Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. And despite scoring 26 points on 53.3% shooting and giving the most assists among starters, their first in-season tournament game against the Dallas Mavericks ended in a loss. For a team with that many future Hall of Famers, equaling your most consecutive losses from last season, this early in the season is, well, really just disappointing. Nonetheless, it is too early in the regular season, and since it isn't the playoffs, the Clippers might choose not to be that worried. However, making losing a habit with that kind of roster can lead to frustration. And one person in the organization who is frustrated is Coach Ty Lue, who believes that it is not much about the way the Clippers are losing because he believes his players are just walking around and lack the intensity. They need to get the job done at the NBA level, saying, "I think playing too slow. Just playing too slow. We get rebounds, you get stops, you got to push it. On makes, we got to push it. Get up quick and attack early. No, I mean, we just can't walk around offensively. Like, you got to get to the next action," Lue said. Anyway, while Lue did have words for the entire team, Kawhi Leonard had words for one person in particular. Kawhi gets honest about his losing streak. In the first 4 games James Harden played for the Clippers, the team was minus 67 with him on the floor, and in the minutes Harden was on the court in his first 5 appearances for the Clippers, Tyronn Lue's team was outscored by 70. While James Harden's presence seems to have affected the team, no one on the team has been more affected than Kawhi Leonard. This is the longest losing streak of his entire basketball career. The longest losing streak in his career to this moment had been 4 games, and even that had only happened 6 times in his basketball career. Nonetheless, the presence of James Harden has seen Kawhi looking off, as James Harden became the most dominant player on the ball. When asked about his losing streaks, Kawhi Leonard said that the blame is on the players. "You got to be able to bury the teams when we go up 10 and make it a close game coming from behind, and it's just on the players. You only get coached so much until that light switches in your head, or it never does, and then you see the teams fail." He also explained that the addition of James Harden meant that the Clippers now have 4 guys on the floor that are used to having the ball, and that has been a problem if he is being brutally honest. Anyway, Kawhi surprisingly isn't the only person on the Clippers to have something to say about Harden and how his game is affecting the team. Who else do you think has something to say about the 10-time All-Star performance? Having James Harden on the team.
I think playing too slow. Just playing too slow. Like, we get rebounds, we get stops, we got to push it. On makes, we got to push it, get it up quick, and attack early. You know, we can't just fucking sorry. No. I mean, we just can't just walk around offensively. Like, you got to get to the next actions. You got to things we work on for the last 3 years. You know, we just got to do a better job of doing that. And if you don't do that, and you don't do it hard, you'll get beat every night. And we're seeing those results. So until we want to, play hard on both ends of the floor, if we want to do things hard, cuts, screens, running the screen, sprinting the floor, then it's going to be tough nights every single night. And so, it's up to our guys to change their mentality in that regard.
The losing streak is clearly taking its toll on Ty Lue, who rarely criticizes his players, but is out here trying to stop himself from cursing. The loss against the Grizzlies saw the Clippers outscored by a team-worst 28 points in Harden's minutes, extending a troubling pattern in which the Clippers were outscored by a team-worst 67 points in Harden's minutes in his first 4 games. In his first two appearances, losses to the New York Knicks and Brooklyn Nets, Harden passed on an open catch-and-shoot opportunity, occasionally sidestepping into a contested shot. Harden scored 15 points on 10.2 shots per game in his first 5 games, his lowest since averaging 16.8 points and 10.1 shots as the Oklahoma City Thunder's sixth man in his final season in 2011-2012. Whatever the case, Ty Lue has come out to state that James Harden is being too polite with his play and that he expects more from the guard. He's doing too much to try to fit in. Just play, just do your thing. If you do it too much, we'll let you know, Lue said.
Tremendous rejection by Paul George. Harden, that's coming my way. I got it. Unbelievable. I could see it from the beginning. Ed, you take over.
To call home and want to give a little hello to us, Birdie. You got the hands.
Yep.
Bad.
Oh, that was to me or in general?
Against the Brooklyn Nets, Harden played for 36 minutes, yet he only attempted 9 shots on the court, not to mention that the Clippers were outscored by 15 points when Harden was on the floor, weakening their defensive philosophies from last season. There is no denying that the team has struggled to maintain or even find its cohesion since Harden arrived, and going forward, if they want to make the playoffs, they need to reestablish efficiency and cohesion in both defense and offense. Nevertheless, one question actually lingers among many Clippers fans. Does James Harden make us better? How well do we do without him? Well, what do you think? The Clippers without James Harden.
George for the tie. Zoo saves it. Batum for 3 in the tie. Oh, he put it in! Batum! Battalion assemble!
Last season, the Los Angeles Clippers ended the season 5th in the Western Conference with a 44-38 record. They lost in the Western Conference first round against the Phoenix Suns 4-1 without Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who were injured in Game 2. But whatever the case, the Clippers have always struggled with Kawhi and PG's availability, and if we're being honest, the Clippers stood a chance against the Suns last season if both Kawhi and PG were available. In a total of 4 seasons together before the 2023-2024 season and 308 possible regular games, both Kawhi and Paul George have only played in a total of 142 games, recording a 96-46 record. While a win percentage of 67.6% is excellent, a 45.1% availability rate is not. Last season, when Kawhi and PG were on the court, the Clippers outscored opponents by 8.3 points for every 100 possessions. Together, they have proven to be able to elevate the Clippers to a championship contending team. However, their injury woes have left the Clippers far away from a championship. So, in all honesty, the decision behind bringing James Harden to the team was not entirely wrong. And anyway, without Harden last season, the Clippers sure had a 6-game losing streak, but that was halfway into the season, and it was without both star players. Without Harden last season, the Clippers definitely had chemistry and were not limited in movement. There wasn't much of your turn, my turn on offense, as there weren't that many ball handlers. In fact, one big reason the Clippers weren't better was Ty Lue's odd tendency to stick with his guys, even if they were getting cooked defensively. A notable name is Marcus Morris, who was costing the Clippers games simply because he was getting cooked on defense and his offense wasn't any better. But anyway, in all, the Clippers were better last season than they have shown early this season. But do you think it is too early to blame James Harden? Why blame James Harden? In all honesty, any team would beg to have a 2-time assist leader and a 3-time scoring champion. James Harden on any team would definitely make them better. So why isn't he making the Clippers better? Why is he getting all the blame? I think it is because the Clippers gave too much for an aging superstar who has proven time and time again to be a team disruptor, and he still needs time to improve the team. The Clippers have been outscored by 70 in the minutes that Harden has played for the Clippers in his 5 games. The presence of Harden with Westbrook has created stagnation and spacing concerns, not to mention that the Clippers lack size because they traded their role players to the Sixers in the Harden trade. To make matters worse, James Harden, after joining the Clippers, had a press conference where he said this:
"I'm not a system player. I am a system." You know what I mean?
On a team that has a former league MVP and a two-time finals MVP. The presence of James Harden has seen role players reduced on the Clippers, and that makes it difficult for everyone. Because, well, if we are being honest, none of these superstars are going to be setting screens steadily, diving for loose balls, or drawing fouls. There are just limited roles because the 10-time All-Star joined the team. NBA analyst Kevin O'Connor emphasized that Harden simply isn't producing and is becoming an even bigger liability. Harden looks like he doesn't have the same level of burst right now off the dribble, even less so than last year. He's not getting to the rim as much, he is not able to create as much space, and defensively he looks even more like a liability. And he's just changing the way that offense plays because he's still playing the way he typically always has. With Russ Westbrook, the offense ran better, but it's not like Russ is necessarily the answer, which is why they got Harden. But right now, he hasn't been on one of the 100 best players in the league through the small sample thus far. So it is important to know that one of the biggest challenges for aging superstars is adapting their game to meet the moment. And Harden hasn't done that yet, and it is unlikely that he will even grow used to doing it if he eventually does. In any case, some Clippers seem to sympathize with Kawhi, as one commented, "Kawhi looks like he pissed off about Harden." Another commented, as a Clippers fan, "We're witnessing some dark times right now. I'm hoping this gets fixed ASAP. It's panic mode now." Well, anyway, we just hope that Kawhi can be patient enough to see James Harden come out good for the Clippers. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then the next video on your screen is also worth your time.